This needs reversed. This over here. I'm about to go live.
How do you do live?
One is Instagram and one is YouTube. Okay, we are on YouTube and we're logging in right now to Instagram. Okay, we're logged on and live show will begin in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Locker Live episode, what are we up to? 5, 6, I don't even know. I have with me a very shy guest who might not want to come into the screen. His name is Zev Locker, and he's running away now because he knows we're talking about pickles today. Zev, do you like pickles? You're not on screen, you can at least answer me. Okay, well, we'll talk about pickles in a moment. I have some poems about pickles that I'd like to read to you because poems about pickles are really important to me. Before that, a couple of announcements. And of course, those of you who are joining via Instagram or YouTube, thank you so much for joining. I am going to log in to YouTube on my computer as well so I can see that your comments, if you want to comment on YouTube or text or comment right here on the Instagram feed, of course, is the easiest way to go about it. Now, announcements are as follows. Number one, if you have any questions, Stump the Rabbi questions, or other Nageela questions or otherwise, please go ahead and ask them. Again, either by texting them to me or commenting them here in the Instagram feed or on the YouTube live feed as well. All of those will work. And I'll wait for a couple questions to come in as I sign into my YouTube channel over here. One moment. And I have a few very interesting and exciting announcements before we start answering any questions. Number one, this coming Sunday, if you are in Las Vegas or you're thinking about coming to Las Vegas, it's going to be a pretty cool day. It's the JCC barbecue, which in and of itself is a pretty cool event. But Nageela, myself, we run a fantastic kids queue as a part of it. It is something that's very enjoyable, and certainly if you want to join that would be really cool. If you're in Vegas, you can still sign up to be part of the kids competition, and that's going to be a lot of fun. You can still do it. Make sure you message me right away so we know that you are joining. Let me get on the YouTube live stream. Logging on right now on the dashboard, and there's a live chat here. So I'm going to say hi, and perfect. I'm just going to cut off the thing. Okay, fantastic.
It's
okay.
Mute there. It's mute there.
Okay, that's perfect. It is muted. Okay, so Nadav is starting off with a great question, and I'm going to start off before I start answering your question with a poem about pickles. I found a really disturbing website that has a whole bunch of poems about pickles. So first, a pickle haiku. Green, fresh cucumber, drowning in spiced vinegar, reborn a pickle. Apparently that's Pickle Haiku by F.J. McCarthy, 2010. Green, fresh cucumber, drowning in spiced vinegar, reborn a pickle. It's not bad, actually. I'm impressed. And, all right, if you have any pickle-related poetry as well, feel free to submit it. Zev, what do you like most about pickles? No answer, huh? Okay, Zev's not answering me. Okay. So, Nadav wants to know, why does God let wars happen? It's a fantastic question. War is one of the worst, most disruptive things that happened in the world. Wars are painful. Wars are terrible. Okay? And I want to make it clear, right? You made the wording, why does God let wars happen? Okay? And for the most part, Nadav, the answer is because God gave people free choice. Okay? God lets people do what we want. He tells us what we should do, but He doesn't make us do stuff. Now think about it. If God would tell us that he gives us free choice, but he wouldn't actually let us do the stuff we want to do, good or bad, what point would free choice have? Okay, it's kind of like if you have a boss at work. Or actually, let's put it this way. Imagine you create a robot, right? And your robot only does exactly what you want it to do. And it's perfect. It cooks you eggs the way you want it, and it plays your games for you. It wins at Clash Royale every single time. It's fantastic. Do you get any pleasure? Do you get any reward? Is it meaningful at all when the robot does what's right? So what we end up having is if people are robots and they just do the right thing, then there's no point at all. And therefore, God allows us to do good things and messed up things. Because when we make the right choices and we do good things, it becomes very, very meaningful. And that's why people do all kinds of horrible things in the world. And war is one of them. Now, I want to point out that wars are not always bad. And sometimes wars are justified. I shouldn't say wars aren't always bad. Wars are always bad. But wars aren't always evil. Bless you. With lots of pickles. Wars are not always evil. Meaning, there are times when going to war is necessary, important, and even good because of it's getting rid of an evil. As an example, when God gave us the commandment to conquer the land of Israel in the times of Yehoshua, of Joshua, that war was not only justified, it was a mitzvah. We were obligated to do that war. It was necessary to get the land of Israel and eradicate evil from the world. And just by the way, say hi, Ben Yamazev, our special guest for tonight, and he's hiding now. But you were on, you can't. Okay, I think he fell out of the chair. Okay, you're here in the Las Vegas Nageela offices. At least on Instagram we got him on, maybe not on YouTube. Okay. Okay, Nadav says, roses are red, violets are blue, both are useless, just Nageela added. I don't understand. Can you clarify your poem, Nadav? Is it just rose red, violets are blue, both are useless? What does that have to do with pickles? No, it's just poetry. It's not about pickles. All right, well, here's another pickle. Here's another pickle for another poem about pickles. Before we get on to our next question, once again, if you're online now, please feel free to submit a question. And if you guys can go ahead and do that. Again, on YouTube as well, or on Instagram. All right, pickles. This poem written by Hate Snow on this website. Love eating pickles. Love putting pickles in my shoes. Love the pickles on my toes. Love that stinky pickle smell. Love eating pickles. That's a pretty disturbing poem. I don't know what they're talking about, pickles on toes. Okay, but that's the poem. I have one more, but I'll save that one for a little bit later in today's show. So we only have about 9 minutes left. So again, a couple of interesting things. First of all, there's going to be some huge Magilla announcements coming up in the next week or two, and we hope to have registration for camp ready in by mid to late November. So that's really exciting, and I can't wait for the best Camp Nageela summer ever, our 9th summer of Camp Nageela West coming up soon. Second of all, Shabbaton, LA Shabbaton, make sure you have saved the date, Thanksgiving weekend. It's going to be really phenomenal with some crazy surprises and some amazing staff. So please make sure that you are ready for Thanksgiving weekend. Okay. So Sarah wants to know, and thank you, Sarah, for always having a great question ready for me. This show would be much harder without you. Are prayers ever just said no to and don't go to anything else, if that makes any sense? I think it makes sense. Let me explain Sarah's question, and then after that we'll get to the last poem, and we'll see if there's time for any more questions after that. So, B'nai, what do you think? Does Hashem ever say no to a prayer? If you daven, is it ever not come true? Sure, sometimes it doesn't come true, right? I daven right now for a pickle in my hand. Oh man, didn't happen. If I pray that there should automatically, all the people who are ill should be healthy and there should be world peace, it's probably not going to happen right away. So what happens? So I think what Sarah's making reference to is, well, not everything we pray for is immediately the right thing to happen or is immediately appropriate. So sometimes God just will not say now to your prayers. However, does a prayer ever go to waste? So I want to explain what prayers are, Sarah, to anyone who's watching now or listening.
You're asking.
It's a really, really...
You're asking.
You're asking, yes. Good. What do you want to say? Hiding again. The Bible says when you pray, you're asking for stuff. But what happens if Hashem says no, and then what happens to that prayer? Does it go to waste? No, it doesn't. So what happens to it? He's our off-the-air guest. What happens to it? What happens to a prayer that doesn't get listened to, that doesn't get answered? Hashem keeps it. Okay, so the idea is, you're right, Yamazav, and you're right, Sarah. The idea is that when we pray, we are uplifting ourselves. Okay, God planned the world and He plans our lives and He decides what's good for us at a certain point. But when we pray, what we're doing is we are improving ourselves. Okay, how are we improving ourselves? By recognizing that God is in charge. When I ask God for stuff, what am I doing? I am saying, I know, God, you're in charge, right? It's kind of like if I ask a parent for something or I ask a teacher, ask a boss for something, I'm kind of saying, hey, I understand that you have the power to fulfill this. You're in charge and you're fantastic, and I am asking you because of that to fulfill my request. So by doing that, what am I doing when I'm praying and I'm talking to God and I'm asking God for stuff? I'm making myself a better person. I'm making myself more connected to God. So Sarah, that can't go to waste. I've now become a better person and I deserve now a better judgment. So now God might not be able to answer this particular request, but He guaranteed will help me, my family, or the people I'm praying for. That's an automatic. That's for certain. Always happens. Okay? So if anyone has any further questions, certainly feel free to ask them or follow-ups on that, or just a shout-out. Again, please feel free to comment on it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the final Pickle poem. Unfortunately, I don't have a top 10 for today. Yes, ma'am.
Like your old phone, the black phone, and the computer are all different directions.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you.
Okay, so here we go. My final Pickle poem for this evening, Shemus Deo, March 2015, on this website. Here we go. A pickle is many things. A kosher dill, a gherkin. You can pickle beets and you can pickle pig's feet. Pickles for bread and butter. Sweet pickles canned by mother. Pickled herring can be found, or pickled eggs that are so round. A pickle's a fine thing to be, but don't get yourself in a pickle. Okay? Not bad. Speaking of getting yourself in a pickle, I do have another graphic to show you about getting in a pickle before we go off. And Sarah, to answer your question, I cannot give information about what staff members may or may not be coming back to camp or Shabbatons or anything yet. I'm not ready to give that kind of information at the moment. However, I do want to show you this graphic, and we'll end with it because we are just about out of time. If anyone has a question to ask us, a thinking question for next week, that's certainly fine. But again, next Tuesday we'll be back on at 6:30, and on Tuesday, I don't know why this is not going, but maybe I can get it over here. Next week we'll be back on Thursday. Remember, Sunday we once again have the JC Barbecue Nageela Kids Q, and of course, do not forget. There we go. Please do not forget the Nageela on Monday night. And here's the final graphic I'm going to show you guys to end the evening with over here. So speaking about not getting stuck in a pickle. And the question that was asked on Facebook, thank you to Andrea, Zachary's mother, who posted this. Would Rabbi Locker eat this? So you guys tell me, post if you think, would I eat this? Would I try it? Would I enjoy it? That's the question that was asked here on Facebook. Sarah says, no, it's nasty. I don't know if it's actually scientifically possible, but perhaps. And finally, the question I'm going to leave you with for the evening as I put it back here is, how often do you Nageela? Imzev, how often do you Nageela? As he runs away? All day, every day. See you guys next week.